I think I know what their curiosities are. I get called an inventor, YouTuber, engineer. My first taste of a viral video, which back then it got like 100,000 views, which was mega back then.
Oh my God, you are so old, so we can talk about we can talk about the change of the internet together.
My YouTube channel is 20 years old next year.
Colin Furze turned his obsession into one of YouTube's biggest engineering channels. With over 13 million subscribers and billions of views, he turns garages into laboratories and ideas into explosions. He doesn't ask for permission, he builds the impossible.
So you spoke about Mr. Beast. You did a collaboration with him recently.
Yeah, it was quite surprising actually. His audience, they'll watch stuff, but I don't know if they actually watch it and take it in. I think
that's a bit harsh to say for Jimmy.
What? No, but I think it's
He's
weird.
starting to beef now.
Nothing is perfect. People that have got absolutely everything still get bored and will still be like, oh, don't know what to do now, because they've achieved what they wanted to achieve. So you just have to.
So you're going to tell us how much money you make a month?
The weather in the UK was just terrible. So it felt like every day you were working in the cold or the wet, and that's
UK,
You
my
come
friend.
from Cyprus, you won't
UK,
understand this at all. You're like, every day I get burnt by the sun.
I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
about education. Educational system, it doesn't really work. Like you make more engineers probably from your channel than the UK educational system.
I think what we struggled with, certainly when I was at school, is that.
I will tell you a funny story.
Go for it.
Are you going to do politics in the future?
Who knows?
Oh my God! So this is news. He's going to run, ladies and gentlemen, in the UK.
Do as you're told. I'm not married, but I've been with Charlotte for 18, 19 years.
Why you didn't get married?
Oh, jeepers. I get pressure from all angles, aren't I?
You know that my father is a priest.
Oh, well, they are.
I'm here to ask the questions that people want to ask. Come on, tell us your secrets.
So,
we're in a very weird location. This is a bit strange podcast location, but hello, who are you?
my name is Colin Furze, and you've dragged me out of a conference onto the sea here to talk about stuff. I'm like, yeah, let's go for it. Why not?
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell us more stuff on who actually you are.
So,
what do you say when they ask you this question?
I get called like an inventor, YouTuber, engineer, all of which to a certain degree are true, but I always think it's a bit weird because I'm not an engineer, I'm not a qualified engineer. Yes, I'm a YouTuber, obviously, we'll take that. An inventor, although I do create and invent stuff, I always think an inventor invents something that solves a problem or is like something for a real world thing, whereas the things I make are mostly for entertainment, if you know what I mean.
But you solve your problems, right?
Kind of. I mean, I wouldn't say they're problems. I think of things like what would make something really cool. Wouldn't it be fun if we could see this happen or do this sort of thing? So, although some of them are like, let's try and feed cake into me as quickly as possible, or let's make a funny way of doing suspension on a bike. It is mostly with the curious in mind, if you know what I mean, for a peculiar thing to build and something which is just going to look cool. And also because I think obviously with YouTube you sort of get funded to make stuff that nobody would normally make, because you can't sell these things because nobody would buy them because they're ultimately flawed. But that doesn't mean people kind of want to see it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, yeah, I know that's not going to work as well as a normal bicycle, but I'd still like to see what a bicycle made of springs or something would look like. So that's kind of what I do.
So you think your sense of cool is very good to understand what is cool and what is not?
Yeah, I guess so. Cool, curious, like interesting. I think I know what their curiosities are, if you know what I mean. Like while they're scrolling through the internet, because ultimately with our game, it's about the thumbnail and the title, isn't it? You've got to hook people in. It doesn't matter about the video, because if they've not clicked on it, they're not going to watch it. So I'd like to think I've got a reasonably good idea of what I think might draw people in.
You always had it, or did it evolve in the years?
Well, it changes, doesn't it? Because the internet changes. Like, I suppose.
Oh my God, you are so old, so we can talk about we can talk about the change of the internet together.
my YouTube channel is 20 years old next year. I have seen everything
16,
change.
you said?
No, 20.
20?
20 years old next year, my YouTube channel.
Wow. So you started from the beginning?
Yeah, pretty much. I think.
What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly, mate. I mean, I should have more followers than what I've got. I've been doing it for long enough. But yeah, everything's changed. Like how you find stuff's changed. Like early YouTube, everybody saw the same homepage. Like you would go on YouTube, would select a video, it would be on like the very like top of like, if you can imagine like a scrolling list, and then it'd stay there for half a day, and then something else would replace it, and it would slowly go down. But we all saw the same page. I was lucky enough quite early on in my my YouTube life that I got one of my videos on there.
It was the one with the bike.
It was the Wall of Death. I made a Wall of Death out of pallets. So crates, pallets. I think that's universally a world term, isn't it? Pallets. Basically rode a motorbike around the inside of it, and they picked that out, put it on the front page, and it sent me from like 300 subscribers to about 3,000 in like a week. But
my God, you became really famous.
Well, yeah, because the most subscribed person in the UK only had like 28,000 followers.
Okay.
So, do you know what I mean? So this was like,
okay, you are up there in the fame.
Yeah, so it was like,
UK.
it was mega, and that was like my first taste of a viral video, which back then it got like 100,000 views, which was mega back then. There were videos getting more than that. I think people had got millions.
And it was the first time that people like had this experience of going viral, right?
Yeah.
It was before that. It was not virality didn't exist.
I mean, virality, or however you want to call it. I think the goalposts move all the time, because what you might call viral now might be different to obviously what it was, 20 years ago, because the platforms have got bigger. There's more people on them, so there's more people using them. So 100,000 views in 2006 or 2007, early 2007. Is probably equivalent now of about 10 million or something. Do you know what I mean? It's like, because there's so many more people on the platform. But the feeling you get from
probably even more.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Because some of the videos now is 50, 100 million. There's 300 million.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And obviously to go from 300 subscribers to 3,000 is, percentage jump is brilliant.
How did you understand that YouTube is the place to upload back then? Because it was not obvious.
No.
Or it was obvious.
No,
I don't know. Because I didn't experience this. You are so old. That's why I'm asking.
So essentially, I mean, they're going to show my.
I'm going to make fun of you, please.
Do whatever, mate. This is going to make me seem really old now. Before YouTube, yeah, there was a time, I used to make videos. I used to ride flatland BMX. So I used to be a BMXer, and we used to film some stuff with that. We used to mess around. And I basically used to make VHS tapes, which used to get like passed around the neighborhood. People at work would distribute them out. And then somebody said, oh, there's this website where you can upload video to it. And I basically split that up into little sections, because there was like 100 meg file limit. So you can imagine like 100 meg video was like really bad quality. Hence, that's where the phrase filmed on a potato was coined, because all the videos looked terrible. So I'd split them early videos up and put them out online. And obviously they started to get, like, people were watching them thinking, oh, this is really cool. That encourages you to do more. So you just did more, but there was no money in it back then. There was no sponsorship. There was no ad revenue, because the AdSense program hadn't even started. So it was really early days. I remember when they first started like rolling out channel banners, like the photo that you have at the top of your page. Only select channels used to have that, and I was lucky enough to get mine picked. So you felt like, whoa, I've got a channel banner. Yeah, I'm the man. So, but yeah, it's changed so much.
Oh my God. So cringe how old you are.
It's what you're like 25
you are bragging about channel banners.
Do you know what I mean? Back in the day, that was kudos. You got a channel banner, mate. You were Mr. Big Balls. So, but now everyone's got a channel banner. Where's the fun in channel banners?
Didn't you got bored of YouTube?
No, not really. I mean, as it's grown, it's allowed me to do better stuff, if you know what I mean. Obviously with sponsorships and ad revenue, all of a sudden then you've got a budget to be able to do things with. In the very, very early days, it was what I was willing to spend on a video, if you know what I mean, just for the pure enjoyment of it. And obviously, because seeing all the people watch it, getting all the comments and stuff, anyone knows if they've had any viral video, it is a good feeling, isn't it? If it's good, of course. If it's negative, then you don't want that. You just want to distance yourself from it, I guess. But yeah, so I just used to put a little bit of money into it. But obviously, as it grew, AdSense grew, sponsorships starting to happen. All of a sudden, you can start to do and make things that were just totally out of reach in the early days. So why would you get tired of that?
So, like, seriously, you didn't get tired at all of doing this, filming, doing the similar projects in a different way and all this stuff?
I mean, there's some times where you kind of like, you know, anybody in any job at some point will be like, oh, you know, I think I've had enough of this. You go through phases of like being like, oh, you know, I don't want to do this part of it anymore, like the filming. I wish I could just make something, not have to worry about filming it, sticking on the internet, just make it. But it is part of the process, and I think you just go through these little waves. When I used to be a plumber, every now and again I used to get fed up with that, because it's like I only ever used to go and fix problems. So every time you walk into someone's house, it's to fix a problem, and they're always awkward to get at, or you know, whatever, because that's why you're there to fix it. Because if it was that easy, they'd have done it themselves. But you know, that's just phases. That's life, isn't it? Nothing is perfect, and nothing stays completely linear, and is never going to annoy you for the entirety of your life. You know, people that have got absolutely everything still get bored, and will still like be like, oh, don't know what to do now, because you know they've achieved what they wanted to achieve. So you just have to change your goals, or just change what you're doing, sort of thing, to kind of give yourself a bit of a new challenge.
So you are finding inside the process new things to make you excited. Yeah. Maybe it could be the business side, maybe it will be bigger project, maybe it will be, so you find things to make you excited. That's how it kept you for so long. Yeah,
I mean, the current thing that I've been doing at the moment, this underground garage, I mean, that's been massively challenging. It's a huge project. You've got the potential for the house to fall into the bloody hole, people to fall in the hole. And that's challenged me in a completely different way than what some of the other projects have. You mean done.
Mentally, to make sure that all this is done in the right way?
Yeah, well, mentally and physically. Do you know what I mean? It's been physically a big project as well. And not this year, but the year before, it was particularly difficult because the weather in the UK was just terrible. So it felt like every day you were working in the cold or the wet. And that's
but that's UK, my friend.
You come from Cyprus, you won't
UK,
understand this at all. You're like, every day I get burnt by the sun. So, well, I got the opposite problem. I just get saturated. So, but yeah, I can't remember what you asked me now.
No, I was asking you about if you got bored, and you answered that you find interesting stuff. You said about this new challenge that you have with the new video. But like, you always, like, how do you think about all this stuff? Like, you are going to make, you have like a list of 1,000 ideas and you pick up one?
Yeah, a little bit. I've got a list on my phone.
Like dream of childhood stuff that you wanted to create is like...
I mean, my childhood dream stuff is a little bit like the underground tunnel system I've done, because for some reason...
People love that one, right?
People love tunnels. Blokes just love digging.
And underground stuff,
yeah.
they love.
So anything sneaky, like a bookcase that you go behind, there's a room, anything like that, just seems to, people just love it. So in that sense, that's kind of appealed to me. But then I've got a list of stuff on my phone. Sometimes I'll look at them and think, I'll have a go at that at the minute, sort of thing. Or I might look at it, you know, like a year later, and you think, probably wouldn't do that now, but I might change it into something else, you know, because things change, don't they? And there might be things happening in the world, and you think, that'd be quite topical to do that now or something. So,
how many videos? One every 2-3 months that you're doing, but there is project that you start and they will take 2-3 years to finish?
Yeah, the underground stuff has definitely slowed the upload schedule up a lot. So I'll be keen once that's done to move on to the more quicker ones. I say quicker, they're still like, if I could get a project out every month or every 6 weeks, I'd be happy with that. So,
and what does your team look like now?
It's just me.
You don't have a team?
No, Rick, who comes and helps me.
What the fuck?
I know. I'm just so old. No one will work with me. So, Rick,
so you are always by yourself building this
pretty
stuff.
Much.
And you enjoy the process of being yourself? Because you could get a lot of help.
Yeah, you could get... I got somebody to come and do some filming for me on one video, but everybody hated it because the thing when you work with yourself is like, it's me and a tripod, a bit like this. Like, we've got 2 cameras here on tripods. We're just having a conversation. There's not loads of sound people behind us. There's not somebody prompting you. ask him this, do that.
No, some people tell they are laughing when they're saying you are old, so they are prompting me
Oh
to
yeah,
do more.
there's the audience.
We have an audience there.
But they're watching this, but there's not somebody behind the camera influencing what's happening. And I quite like that. I like the fact that it is just me in my shed, and then I feel it's me talking to the viewer,
so you feel it's
we're
more
building this
personal.
thing. Yeah, it's more personal, but there's a better connection because the camera doesn't move. It's me and the tripod. And like the last video I did on the pickup truck, a lot of people, there's quite a few comments saying like, oh my God, it really is just you doing it. Because they can see when I filmed the truck, you could see me in the reflection, holding the camera, doing all the camera work, so they know it is all just me. And I think that's probably one of the reasons why I've probably sustained over these years, over the 20 years, is because I've not grown so much that I've employed loads of people, and then it's all kind of changed and come like a bit too commercialized in like, I'm employing all these people
So
now.
you are intentionally doing this?
But yeah, probably. Also, I just don't want to manage people. I don't want to have loads of people to worry about and sort out. So even though they're supposed to sort me out, like, it still has to be your vision, isn't it?
But you still have a team of a person to help you with sponsors, like you still have...
Yeah, I mean, there's Karina, she's my manager. So she deals with the contracts and stuff and things like that. But she doesn't come in the shed or start building stuff.
So that's it, one person?
Yeah, I do all the editing.
You do all the editing?
Yeah, edit myself. I tried to get somebody else to do that, but I ended up changing it so much. I was like, I may as well have just done this myself. But also, you see, because I film and I am the editor, I don't overshoot, because I know I'm making the video in my head as I'm going along. And I'll look at each bit and I'll go, right, we'll say this, stitch that together, and then it will go to that bit. So there's no point filming any of this unless something else starts getting interesting. I think, oh, wait a minute, this is going off in a slightly different direction. I better capture this. Then I'll film it. But other than that, I know what the video is.
So you think that's one of the key of your videos, because they feel very personal?
Yeah, I think
they feel very personal, and they feel that you are making them with a lot of like touch and like you are alone.
It is me. I always say to people, like, if the video doesn't work, or if the project's not that exciting or something, it's on my shoulders. But equally, if it's a success, everybody likes it, it's a great video, that's also my doing, if you know what I mean. So I feel like my personality is so in them videos that's why people come and watch sometimes. There's quite a decent portion of my audience that really don't care what I make. They're just in there to be part of the process, if you know what I mean. And that's good, because you said?
Because,
I was going to say, like, if you look in the comment section of a Colin Furze video, it is a great place to be. It's positive. There are people saying, like, you could do it like this or you could do it like that, but it's like constructive criticism. There's no arguments. There's no people just saying random, there's no political statements in there or anything like that.
Yeah, fuck politicians.
Exactly, bloody knobheads. So it's just a nice, do you know what I mean? It's a really nice, positive part of the internet. And I think, like, everybody goes on about getting trolled and there's so much hate out there. And I get how people get that. But I just think people that come and watch my videos, it's like they just forget all that. I'm just going to see this guy build something stupid and ridiculous in his workshop. So
do you do this intentional also to like bring positivity to the world and like to like?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, one of the byproducts of my channel is the effect it's had on people getting into engineering. Because I mean, when I first started it, obviously back in them days, it was just for fun and entertainment for myself, and obviously to entertain other people. But the amount of people that, you know, have started watching my channel for, I'd like to do something like that, have then now gone through education, started to become engineers, and now I've met them. You know, the people have come up to me, I'm like, I run an engineering company now, and that's partly down to me watching your videos when I was a kid, you know, because I'm so old. So, but that's great. I was trying to I got on a plane in Iceland, and the guy that was checking me in said, I'm studying electromechanical engineering because of you. So, do you know what I mean? I mean, if that doesn't, you know, bring a smile to your face, then what isn't?
That's a different motivation. You want to teach people and to make them excited about engineering.
Yeah.
That's another motivation that you were describing before, that you want to be positive, and so both of them, but mostly the education part.
I think.
And inspiring people to do this.
I suppose when I first started making the videos, I never actively looked at them as being teaching videos as such, but I always tried to include something in that either I hadn't done before or a process that I hadn't attempted before. So it was people seeing me learn to do something or to try and experiment with something. And I think that as a way to teach people is really good, because it's not badged as a lesson, if you know what I mean. It's me trying to achieve something, no matter how stupid it is, but you can look at it and you think, that's actually really cool. Do you know what I mean? We could go and do that, or we could try and copy that, or, you know, and you can motivate people through stealth, really. Do you know what I mean? Because they'll look at it, get excited by it, and before you know it, they're trying to build their own version. Whereas if you tried to say to someone, I want to make you try and make something or whatever, they might just be like, yeah, whatever, mate. But you encourage them, you know, without them realising.
So to rephrase what you said, so you're saying that you are excited to solve the problem, you are having some difficulties to solve the problem, and this is what makes naturally the people be excited to solve that, anticipate and like be excited about solving their problems.
Everybody bounces off other people's personalities, don't they? Like the people watching this are obviously fans of you. Do you know what I mean?
Or you.
Or me, potentially.
Even
but
though
you'd like
you are a bit old.
But you'd like to think that most of them are here because of you, because it's your channel, sort of thing. So
no, because they saw your fucking face. So it's probably both of us. Mostly you.
Who knows? Who knows? Do you know what I mean? It depends how your audience is divided
comment
up.
below why you are here.
So, so me. Did you come here for me or for Fidas? Is it Fidas? Is that how you say it?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
So I want to touch a bit. One of the reasons, like you asked me before, like why you want to talk with me, like, and you were making sure that I will not talk about politics here.
I just asked you because obviously when you introduced yourself, you're a member of the European Parliament, and then you said, let's do this podcast. And I'm like, well, what's it going to be on? If you're going to start asking me about GDP figures and unemployment growth, I'm like, I don't bloody know.
But I wanted to ask you about education.
Right.
Because like, educational system, it doesn't really work. Maybe we can agree on that. Like you make more engineers probably from your channel than the UK education system.
I think the biggest, what we struggled with, certainly when I was at school, is that they couldn't deal with practical pupils, people that wanted to do stuff with their hands. It's a lot easier to teach like clerical work and kind of like academic subjects than what it is practical stuff, because obviously with practical things like engineering, you need all the tools, all the the equipment that comes with it, and then obviously nowadays they get petrified of kids chopping the fingers off and stuff and things like that. So it's like they just said, we can't be doing with all this anymore, just get rid of it all. And then people like me that really enjoyed all the woodworking and the metalworking lessons were kind of just left with like, well, what are we going to do? Because we're not interested in Shakespeare and all the other rubbish and whatnot. So exactly, fucking nonsense. So so I do think there's a struggle. It's nearly like there needs to be like two separate sides of the education system, where you've got your practical people and you've got your academic people, and they can cross over, but it's like nowadays it's all about kids of ADHD and autistic and stuff, and sometimes I think they're just not stimulated properly. Do you know what I mean? They're going to school, getting told to sit down and listen, but they're not that type of person. And I think, I wonder how this used to get dealt with like years and years ago. I'm going back like, way years ago. They're probably the sort of kids that got sent down the mines, like go and whack hell out of a coal face all day. And for some people, that was probably actually a good release. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm active, I want to do something. I want to get in there, solve a problem, drive the train. Do you know what I mean? Really get involved with stuff, but we just don't do that now.
So I want to hear your thoughts on how you think we can enhance, in a way, what ideas you have about enhancing the educational system especially for your kind of sector. Like we should give like 1 hour like in the school and tell them like this is the tools, build whatever you want. Like what is some ideas from your experience?
I think we need to bring the practical subjects back into the classroom, because a lot of schools around me, a lot of the equipment was sold off probably about 10 years ago. So kids don't ever get to use stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know what the CDT classes are like nowadays. I mean, in some ways they're getting slightly better again, because things like 3D printers, laser cutters, CNC machines and stuff, they're kind of creeping back into schools. But then it's kind of weird because like the machines make the thing, don't they? So it's nearly like we're teaching them the CAD and how to draw on the computer, which then starts to feel a little bit academic again, if you know what I mean. Whereas at some point there's people that still have to physically build stuff. I mean, again, in the UK, they want to build loads of houses at the minute, but they seem to forget that we don't have that many builders. Do you know what I mean? Because we don't have the trades. So I think they need to push on more things like that, is try and, get the kids, which are clearly practical kids, and try and build the curriculum round. So we do send them off to be the plumbers, electricians, plasterers, carpenters, roofers and whatever, or the engineers, and try and, just treat them better, basically. Try and nurture them from a younger age, and hopefully won't have as many problems with them, because it's always the practical kids, the nutcases like me, that could go off and, just go absolutely crazy because we're not stimulated enough. So
one part, I love your part, but I want a bit more on the motivation side, because if you just leave the kid, you seem to make things exciting.
Yeah.
So like, how do you motivate the kids to be excited about this stuff inside the school? Like, maybe it needs an element of coolness, probably, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is the hard thing about any subject, isn't it? Is no matter what subject you're teaching, there's different strands of it. I mean, if you was to look at it, on the academic side, certain books will get kids excited rather than other ones. So you need to look at each individual child and think like, what can we do that's going to get all these people motivated? Like competitions and stuff. If they do, I remember when I was in primary school, we all got given loads of paper, loads of sellotape, and we just said, right, who can build the biggest tower? And then basically you learn about triangles, the structure and stuff. That was a brilliant lesson, if you know what I mean, because we were all there trying to make funny shapes. You could look across the room, oh, they're doing that like that, that's a good idea. So you need subjects like that kind of just get everybody on board, where they can see the goal, sort of see what they're trying to do. And if it all goes wrong, it's just fun. Do you know what I mean? So what if it collapses and stuff goes everywhere? Like, that doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Kids don't care about that, do they? They just want to get involved. So I think if you can try and get that sort of thing into the lessons, like, because people watch me, like they watch me build a drift trike, because the thing at the end of it is fast, you can slide around and it looks fun to use or to be on. So whatever you're teaching, there needs to be that element in it somehow. But that can be very difficult sometimes, because what's exciting and interesting for one kid, another one might not be interested in it at all. So, but nothing's easy, is it? Never supposed to be easy.
Okay, so definitely should put the coolness element into it, so they make them excited. Let's go a bit more on your personal life. What people don't know about you that they would love to know?
Oh, I think there's that. I think most people know. I've got 2 kids. I'm not married, but I've been with Charlotte for 18, 19 years, so we may as well be. We live together, obviously. It's very nice. So my kids...
Why you didn't get married?
Jeepers, I get pressure from all angles, aren't I? So I've never been interested in it.
I'm here to ask the questions that people want to ask. Want to hear that.
I've never been that interested in it. I suppose... Like,
you know that my father is a priest.
Oh, well, they are. I mean, he'd probably ask me the same question then, wouldn't he? Rick, who I work with, he's divorced. My ex-boss, he got divorced. Maybe I'm surrounded by divorcees. I don't know. I just always felt that it was, you spend all that money and go through all that effort for a day, and then you go around someone's house that got married, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks, a month, for 2 years before, and you'd look around, there might be one picture somewhere. And I was like thinking, what's the point? Do you know what I mean? Just to change. I was like, why don't you just change your name? Like, that's essentially, what you get out of it. She would become Charlotte Furze, and that's it. So it's not something that's ever really bothered me. But I mean, I think some girls like it for the security, obviously. So if anything was to happen to me, it's kind of a cheap way of doing a will in the UK.
To get married.
Yeah, rather than having a will where you try and divide everything out or make sure everything. If you just get married, then automatically, if something was to happen to me, it would go to your wife and your kids respectively, and that's just done. But maybe that's why some people don't want to get married. Maybe they don't want all the stuff to go. Who knows? But yeah.
So you didn't see any point to getting married, and it was also like I understand, like yourself is like you don't want to be forced into stuff, and you want to do it because you want to.
Yeah.
So it's like it was also a statement that you said for yourself.
I mean, I'm not ruling it out, but I'm quite happy. I don't feel the need. You know, I said to, you know, we've had 2 kids and our name's on a mortgage. Like, what more commitment do you want from someone who is tight with his money? And we've had if you have kids, that's the most commitment you can put with someone.
How old is your kids?
They're 13 and 9.
Okay.
So they're at an interesting age.
And you
now.
didn't put them that much in the video stuff?
They go in every now and again, but the rule has always been, if they're in the video, it's to assist in some way and make sure that if anything funny happens, people aren't laughing at them. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't want them to grow up and then they'll have done something in a video like 2 or 3 years prior where it's, oh, you know, you're the guy that fell off and smacked his face or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I've always tried to keep them a little bit of a distance, because when they're younger, I mean, you could sort of tell them to do stuff and they'll, to a certain degree, they'll go along with it and they don't realise the wider implications of it. But I think some people use their kids as like,
prompts in their videos.
Yeah, and ways to get views and stuff, because it's, you know, oh, this is the kid, he's quite funny, or, you know, we're trying to do this or whatever. So yeah.
But we understand them. They're not like, because they have their kids, they want to spend time with them, and it's more good for the content to have some kids running around. So it's not something bad, but like, so you are careful about their appearance.
Yeah, like I said, you know, if I've said to them in the past, you know,
they want to be more, right?
If they want to be.
They want to be more, like they, or no?
Up and down.
Okay.
It's kind of weird, because like Jake, my son, he's at that age now, he's 13, where most teenage kids start to like rebel against their parents, don't they?
So he doesn't find you eating chocolate. So he doesn't find you cool anymore.
Well, that's the thing, you see. He's at that age where he shouldn't do, but because all his mates ask about me, what's your dad doing? He's kind of got that dilemma in his head. It's like, he's my dad, I kind of think like, you should be a dickhead now, but at the same time, you're doing quite cool stuff. So I can't moan at you to my mates, because they'll all be like, yeah, but he's a YouTuber. He's well cool. So he's kind of trapped in this little bubble, really. But I think generally he thinks I'm okay, but you never know, do you? So.
Any other thing that people would love to know about you? Come on, tell us your secrets.
There isn't any, really. I mean, you know, I think it's weird because I don't really share loads of stuff in terms of, you know, like personal stuff on my video. But I don't know, you know, I'm a fussy eater, quite tight.
Fast eater.
Fussy.
What fussy means?
Like if you serve me mashed potato and peas and all the peas got in the mashed potato, I'll be like, oh.
Okay.
You know what I mean, I eat things separately.
Okay.
I mean,
Very
Charlotte thinks
important.
there's a little bit of autism in there somewhere, but only a little tiny bit of like eating all my food separately. And I sometimes eat it in an order as well, and stuff like that. But people probably could guess most of that just from what I'm like. But no, I mean, that's it. I think, you know, what you see on camera is pretty much like the person I am. I've calmed down a little bit. I used to shout quite a bit in some of my early videos.
Share more about your...
Like I used to be quite loud.
Okay.
Like, sort of thing, but you know,
but then you
getting older, ain't I?
But then you understood that you can get the same views without being louder, so...
Yeah, I suppose after a little while, the content changes, like...
Do you see yourself that it changed a lot? After,
I don't think personally I've changed. I think obviously the way that you edit stuff and structure a video has changed because...
Of the storytelling.
Yeah, the storytelling. Like before, but when YouTube first came about, the ideal video length was about between 2 and 3 minutes. So it was nearly like what shorts and stuff is now, but obviously in landscape. Whereas now YouTube, because most people are watching it on smart TVs and in their lounge, you know, YouTube favors longer videos now, like 20 minutes plus sort of thing, because it wants people sat there on the platform for a long time. So of course, how you structure that video is going to be completely different. So you still try and keep the pace up, but you know, you stretch it out over a longer period of time. I mean, some of my projects years ago used to have like 3 or 4 different videos of like the building of it, whereas now you just cram it all in one. So times have changed, man.
So tell me a bit about your favorite things that you ever did and like why they were your favorites.
So there's a few different projects that have done different stuff. The Wall of Death, like I said about earlier, was my first viral video.
So that has special for you
And
because
also
you're, first.
it was the first video which was specifically made with YouTube in mind, because prior to that,
Oh really?
well, yeah, because prior to that they were basically parts of that VHS tape that was split up. Do you know what I mean? So they were kind of a lot of that. So that was the first one I kind of looked at as like, you know, right, let's make one specifically for the internet. And obviously it was great that the third one, it was three, across like a 3 or 4 month period, I think, that they got it uploaded. But the third one was the one that went viral, the one of me actually riding it. That was great. I made a world's fastest mobility scooter, which was a Guinness World Record of, like, you know, the little granny cart things that old people go around on. I got one of them to do like 80 mile an hour. And that was like the first project that got...
What did you like about this?
What you got in all the newspapers. Like media-wise, it was like I'd sort of learned to conquer the media a bit more. I'd like got some contacts in like some of the newspapers and things. So
why it's important to you this to get some media coverage?
Well, because back
YouTube
then,
is not enough, my friend.
No,
like
because back then
10 million views on a YouTube video is not enough.
I know, but we're talking. This is 2010 now. We're talking.
Okay.
So the AdSense program had started, but it wasn't. It didn't pay very much, if you know what I mean, because it was only. It was.
When did it start getting paid? Okay, like
I think around about 2008 they rolled it out. But again, it wasn't. There was no mid-roll ads.
When it started paying well, like 2015, 2018, like when
12, 13.
12, 13 that you
Yeah.
started like.
Is when it started to make
when
a bit
it
more
became
sense.
a full time.
So it was my full-time job in 2011.
Oh really?
Because basically, after the mobility scooter thing in 2010, I went on a TV show with it. Somebody from another TV show saw me and then basically casted me for this like a gadget show where they had like people making stuff. So I basically stopped plumbing, went and did that for a year, and then just didn't go back to my plumbing job. And because I just thought, well, I've been paid some money for this, and I was essentially living out of a hotel for like a year. So I didn't spend any of it because everything was being paid for. So I thought I'll use that money to fund the following year to try and spend more time on the YouTube and stuff. So yeah, from 2011 onwards, it was my full-time job, and it started paying for itself. But after about 3 or 4 months, it was self-sustaining, if you know what I mean. So that's when it started to make a little bit more sense. But again, the ad revenue then wasn't mega, but there was other bits that I used to get money from. So it kind of all
Sponsorships when they started.
Sponsorships mostly started around 2013, 2014. And again, that's different to what it is now. There wasn't any of the mid-roll, like the integrations, if you know what I mean. That come a little bit later. It was like someone would sponsor you.
And the money we're talking a lot less than now,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, of course. I mean, everything was, because, you know, subscribers is less, views is less. So it's worth less, isn't it? And also, back then, like, companies sponsoring people on YouTube was new. Do you know what I mean? This felt like, to them, it felt like a crazy idea that we're giving some dude on the internet to just make something crazy and make a video
So
about
much
it.
money.
So it was, well, I mean, it depends how you look at it, isn't it? So to me at the time, it felt good. But just advertising budgets, it was probably nothing. It was, you know, it was a risk worth taking for them, if you know what I mean. So it was kind of like at the start of all that, which was exciting. It was exciting to be part of that, if you know what I mean. To be part of, I mean, now that's just, everybody knows that's what happens, don't they? If you want to be...
It became a normal thing. Every video has a sponsor inside.
Exactly. And like, people know now, if you upload stuff on the internet and you can get enough views, you know, you will get money, you'll start getting paid, you know, if you reach a certain subscriber number or a certain many minutes. I'm not sure what the threshold is now, obviously, because it's been ages since I've had to do that. It's a changing thing, no doubt, all the time. But everybody knows it can be a job and it will go somewhere. Whereas, like I said, back when I started, there was none of that. It was just, we just did it for a laugh. So I feel it's one of the things I'm quite proud of, that I was in it before all the money was.
So we're sure that you don't do it for the money.
Exactly. So.
Okay, so let's go a bit into the business side of things. So you run this, you have sponsorship, ad revenue, you have merch. what are other things that bring you money?
Yeah,
So-
there's like channel memberships and stuff, but I'm not big on that. I don't promote that too much because I set the lowest amount as well. Because I always think like, you know, we do all right as internet people. We don't need to take more money off people, if you know what I mean. I always think it's a bit greedy, really. So, but I tend to get my channel members, they tend to name a lot of my builds. I'll say, look, I'm making this. It's going to be made out of this. What should it be called? And they normally come up with miles better names than I ever do. So that's all good. But yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of, you know, different revenues. And I mean, now you've got live streaming, haven't you? You've got the blooming gifts.
You do live streams?
I've done a few. I've done the odd one, but I always feel like you need to be doing something like interesting to warrant doing it, because a lot of people will just live stream themselves doing quite a mundane task, and I always think that's a bit boring. Like the last one I did, we were unwrapping loads of parcels of things that people had sent to me. So it kind of felt like it was interesting because it's like, oh, what's this one going to have in it? So there was a reason to keep watching, if you know what I mean. So and I always think you've got to think about that. It's just sat there doing practically nothing. It's just it's a bit weird, really. But yeah.
So can you name percentages like to a 30-40% ad revenue, 20%, 30% ad sponsors?
It varies really. Obviously, depending on how well the video does. Do you know what I mean? If you get a really successful video, then obviously you're going to get more ad revenue. So I think it's probably about 40-60 towards the sponsor most of the time, but sometimes it can vary. Do you know what I mean? There's a little bit.
Yeah. If you have a viral video, it will vary.
Yeah. Same with merch as well. Some designs.
So
some
merch is
products.
not in the big percentages. Like
no, merch for me is quite
5-10%.
Yeah, it's quite small really. It like I said again, it varies. There are some t-shirt runs and some designs that do really well because people like it. And also if they're associated with a project, if that project is a more popular project like the tunnel and the underground stuff, then people are more invested in it, if you know what I mean. So all those things kind of add up to different numbers. So you can never say, oh, merch is going to get you this, that's going to get you that, because it does change a little bit. So
I will tell you a funny story.
Go for it.
When I was a YouTuber, I had like...
Oh, you know what? Yeah, but you are still a YouTuber, yeah?
Yeah, but I'm not uploading. So
okay.
2-3 years ago,
where's this going then?
And now I'm a full-time member of the European Parliament. That's my full-time job. So before I made a video, I had like 2 million subscribers and I sell a t-shirt. And then I was like, only 4 people bought my t-shirt.
Oh, this is the thing he said.
And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Or am I stupid or nobody cares about me? But I was getting millions of views on my videos. So I was like, oh my God, what's wrong with me? So then I was like, I reversed. The first time that I was convinced that I can sell things is when I convinced the population of my country to vote for me. So then I was, okay, it's more about like something you believe in to sell. So it's like, it's not that people don't like you, but when they don't buy your merch, that is not maybe their primary thing that, but like I think like for what is his name now, the Mark Rober, he made this company that people buy their
Crunch Labs.
Brilliant. So
brilliant
this
product.
is more like he's bringing education to. So this is what I'm saying is like more the product needs to be more closer to the what you are doing.
I think people, you got to think like if someone's going to buy something, like if they're going to buy a t-shirt, why are they buying it? Are they buying it because they support you and they want to tell people that they support you? Are they buying it because they like the design, or are they just buying it for any other reason? I don't know. But because I always think like certain designs, I try not to, sorry, tap the mic. Certain designs, I try not to have my name blasted all over them because I'm like, I don't necessarily want to go around with furs slapped all over me, if you know what I mean, sort of thing. So I think, is anybody else going to want to do that? So I try and make them a little bit more subtle. I always go like minimalist design so people could wear it and it doesn't necessarily scream Colin Furze at them, if you know what I mean. Some of them do, some of them don't. But the best products we've had, like with the tunnel project, at the end when I finished the first section of the tunnel, I did a poster with all like the drawings that basically went in, like the technical drawings of it, and then give it like a cool border, and then just put like keep on digging across it, and then I signed them all. They sold mega well because that was a little bit like a certificate to the people that's like, I've watched this guy do this tunnel on the internet. I've put like nearly 10 hours or whatever it is in, it's 10 videos, not an hour long, probably 3 or 4 hours. I've put this much time into watching this. It was absolutely brilliant. He did a great job. And that's kind of like, for me to remind me of how much enjoyment I got out of the project. Do you know what I mean? And people put it up in their workshops and stuff. Same thing, we did the tunnel dirt as well, where we literally jarred up the dirt. And everyone was like laughing. Like, I mean, I thought it was stupid, crazy when we were doing it, but people said, you should sell jars of dirt. And I thought, well, people are asking for it, let's just do a few. And people went nuts for it. And I felt fraudulent, like putting like my front garden into jars. But they went mad for it. But essentially, again, they weren't buying the dirt. They were buying that little souvenir to say that I watched this guy dig this massive hole in his front garden and it was brilliant. And then when people come round, they'll say, what the hell's that? They can say, you seen that guy doing this? So I think that's what people get behind with merch. When when people just put out stuff sometimes and think, just do a t-shirt. The t-shirts that do well are the ones that do have some sort of reference to something that's happened on the channel. So that's what I always think. So like with you, with your parliamentary stuff, people have obviously got behind your message is like, people hate politics, nobody votes. I want you to vote, even if you don't care, vote for me, sort of thing, because it's a vote, sort of thing. So people have obviously got behind that, and that's why that's done well.
So you're going to tell us how much money you make a month?
No, we don't talk about money. So you don't need to know, do you? Nobody needs to know. I know everybody wants to know, but it's like one of those things, like I always say to people, you don't talk about money. Money divides people. Do you know what I mean? It's like some people might think it's a mega extreme amount. Some people might go under. There's no winners from talking about it.
Okay, tell me more about it, because like for me it's interesting to understand like the logistics behind a YouTube channel, or like for a fan that watches YouTube. But you are saying that I don't have a problem you're not saying, but I find it interesting.
Yeah.
You think that when you say the amount of money, it will divide. It will not be healthy.
Well, no, it's not necessarily it will divide. It's just that everyone's got a figure in their head of what they think.
So you prefer to leave the mystery?
Well, yeah, because it's better that way. Because some people might think it's like, well, in their eyes, what someone thinks is a high number is going to be different to certain people. So, and if it's higher than what somebody thinks is high, then it's like, God, that's a lot. But then if it's lower, they might think like, I thought you'd be doing better than that. So you kind of don't win, do you?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter.
Ladies and gentlemen, I can kind of estimate with his views and all this stuff to make the amount, but I will not. I will not.
It's tricky as well, because I've got such a weird upload schedule at the moment. It's so, even I don't even know what it would be at the minute. So I'm happy that my costs get covered. Do you know what I mean? And
it's a profitable thing because you are alone with another person.
Yeah, I mean that helps with me. I don't have massive overheads.
Mr. Beast has like 500 employees. So,
exactly. So he's got all that to worry about, whereas I don't. So, but I mean, obviously, Mr. Beast's channel does exceptionally well. He's not got to worry about that. He's got his chocolate bars and all the other stuff he's done. So he's got revenue streams coming in from all over the place. I'm more of a simple channel. Obviously, it's just me. The merch everything's done on a slightly more low key because I'm always fussed about quality. You see, like the first t-shirt run I ever did with one of the bigger companies, the t-shirt wasn't very good quality. It was thin, and I'm like, can we swap to a better t-shirt? This one's a bit thin. It's like, no, that's what we do. Like we don't, they get printed all in the same place on the same t-shirt. You can't do anything about that. And I'm like, no, I don't like this. So I've moved to someone else which is a bit more bespoke. They'll send me the t-shirts first, they'll send me the hoodies, and I'm like, yeah, these are really good. We'll go for them. So I'm more worried about like when someone gets my merch through the post and they get it out, they feel it. They're like, oh yeah, this is decent. Do you know what I mean? This is good stuff. And they won't think like, we bought some of Colin's t-shirts. They literally, stretched. They lasted one wash and then they were done. I don't want that. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be like, oh God, yeah, I wore that for years. And even when I see some people at shows and stuff, I see them in jumpers that are literally like probably nearly 11 years old now.
Okay.
So the Stamford Hovercorps one, which was done for the hover bike, like I still people see him wearing them jumpers because they were bloody brilliant.
Okay. So you spoke about Mr. Beast. You did a collaboration with him recently.
Yeah, he.
What was the collaboration for you? How did it deal for you? Like a lot of people going crazy. They didn't know you for your channel. So
It was quite surprising actually. So I was in his video. He did a video about bunkers. Obviously, I've got a bunker, so they came and filmed in it. If you hadn't have told me that I was in a Mr. Beast video, just looking at my analytics, I wouldn't have known. It literally made no effect to my channel whatsoever.
okay.
And I think this is basically down to what I was saying about how my comment section, there's discussion, there's people putting like, I'll try this, do that. There's kind of like, people suggesting things. If you go into his comment section, it's just nonsense. It's all political statements or people saying like, give me money, or like, oh my God, you're amazing. There's no discussion anywhere because there's just too much. It's just, yeah, you can put your comment in and then you'll refresh it and then you can't find it. It's miles down a scroll. So, and I think that's kind of as well with like his audience, they'll watch stuff, but I don't know if they actually watch it and take it in. I think they watch it.
That's a bit harsh to say for Jimmy.
What? No, but I think it's
He's
weird.
starting to beef now.
No, it's not a beef. I think it's just what it is. It's like he appeals to everybody and they watch the videos, but I don't know if they watch it and they go, oh, that's cool, I'm going to go and check that guy out. So either they're not interested in me, or they skip to the end or whatever. I'd love to see like the audience retention for his videos to see if it all spikes or whatever and stuff. But no, so I noticed.
So even the
Very
video
little.
got 300 million views.
I don't know what it got in the end.
Whatever
I
it
think
got.
it was on about 60 or 70 last time I looked, but that was still quite early on. But,
So even if it got 200 million views, you didn't
no,
get any.
I think I gained about 5,000 or 6,000 subscribers. But at the time, I'd not long put a video out of my own. So obviously it was all masked in that as well. But there wasn't like when his one went live, the little spike that you get in the video analytics was not. It was you could have got the same off a social post, if you know what I mean. So it was very. I mean, I was surprised. I thought it would, I thought I would get more back from it. But, it was good. I met him. He's a nice bloke. We got on. Do you know what I mean? We had a good conversation in the garage. When I got him on his own sort of thing, like calmed him down. Because I think he gets moved around a lot, if you know what I mean. He's very organised in like everybody organises his time. And I was speaking to somebody else actually that had like spent a day with him. And he did say like his perfect day is to be woken up and told exactly what he's going to do and what he's going to be until he goes to sleep. Like that's his idea of his perfect day. Whereas for me, that's like my worst day. Do you know what I mean? I just want to get up and do, I've got this to do today. We'll do that. But to get told, you've got to go here, you've got to go that, regardless of if you want to go or how much fun you're having in each individual bit. So I think it was quite good when I actually like sort of got him on his own sort of thing and just talking to him. But no, he's a nice bloke. So,
Are you happy?
yeah, I think I am actually. So I'm pretty good. There are times when you're like, oh, jeebus. Do you know what I mean? You get fed up with projects sometimes if they go on for too long or certain bits are a little bit tricky. Like I said, like the year before last with the weather, that was pretty tough. But I mean, I'm through that now. Do you know what I mean? It's all covered over, it's all dry. So yeah, you get little bits where you just like, oh God, won't this thing just bloody work? But generally you can't not be, can you? Like I can think of the stupidest idea ever, film it, and I've got a sponsor that will pay for it most likely, and then I'll just put it out. Like if you're not happy with that, then you're never going to be happy, are you? Are you happy?
I'm think the happiest person in the world. I think I have
booming.
I think
absolutely booming with happiness. See, I think when you come over, I think you've got Toto Wolff's mouth, the Mercedes boss. You've got his mouth, and then you've got Andrea Stella's eyes, who's the McLaren boss, with a little bit of. There was a guy called Sebastian Buemi. I think you've got his hairline. So. For the Formula One geeks out there, that's what I see in your face.
I started watching Formula One. My fiancée now is a big fan of the Formula One, and she's forcing me to watch it together. Do you watch Formula One?
Yeah, I'm a massive Formula One fan. Yeah, I watch every race live.
Which one you are supporting?
So I think Lando's probably going to win this year's championship.
You think Lando will win this year's championship?
I think he
they
will.
Say the odds 57% chance of
yeah,
him
it's
winning.
kind of it tilted more in his favour on the lap because we had a race on Sunday. Before then, because he's a good, I think he's like 19 points or 20 points or something. Maybe it's not as much as that, might be 16.
Yeah,
ahead of his teammate.
He's 33 points.
Yeah, but his teammate is properly like...
Piastri.
Yeah, he's having a real bad run of form at the minute. Before this weekend, I did think Max actually was going to come up and beat them. Yeah. I never used to like Max that much, but he has grown on me massively this year. He is just bloody talented driver.
Yeah, he was in the recent match, the last match, he started like 15, 14,
Yeah,
and he ended
cut
up
through.
like 3.
He potentially could have won it if he didn't have that puncture, potentially. I mean, obviously, certain things happened in his favour because he was on the hard tyre at that time, which was a bad tyre.
Some people probably hate us now. Sorry, guys, if you are not a Formula One fan.
Yeah. But in terms of what team or anything like that, when I first got into it, it was because of Williams, because they had a BMW engine and I like my Beamers. So that's what got me into it originally. Obviously, Lewis, he was doing well. He's British. Obviously, that was pretty cool. He used to ride for McLaren, then he went to Mercedes. Never been a Ferrari fan, because when Schumacher was in it, they just seemed like cheating bastards. They had a special rule which they could like veto any rule that they didn't like. They had way more money than everyone, although that's obviously because they got more money.
You seem a bit more passionate about Formula than YouTube.
What?
You are very passionate, huh? I didn't expect this.
I don't think I'm not passionate about YouTube.
No,
I've answered your question.
I'm messing
just because
with-
I won't tell you about the bloody money.
I'm messing with you, but I didn't expect that you are so passionate about the
Yeah,
Formula One.
I'm into that. That's my sport. That's the one I follow. So, and I get, people ask you these questions like, who do you follow, who do you support? But it's not, I don't know, it's not quite as clear cut as that. I think people in football teams, they tend to pick a team and then go with it. But because drivers move around and you watch certain seasons where certain teams are obviously battling and then others are out, because I still like Williams. I suppose, like I always think, is Williams actually my, the one that I would naturally go to because it was the first one. But they had a period in time where all their drivers were just crappy pay drivers and they just, the car was rubbish and it was just like, they just were never there. So it was good when they had a few odd results. You'd always be champion for them, sort of thing. But there was always something else to look at.
So your favorite is Max Verstappen, we understand.
So, but no, Verstappen's good. If you ask me my favourite driver ever, personality-wise, it'd be Ricciardo. Daniel Ricciardo. He had a proper character about him, he did. So, because some of them can be a bit wooden, can't they? If you know what I mean? They're a bit corporate. Oh, how did you do today? Oh, yeah, the tyres are good, but we can't quite get them in the windows and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, he just used to come out and say stupid, the car's shit. Do you know what I mean? We tried messing with some bits on it, but it was still shit, sort of thing.
My favorite is I forgot his Senna.
Senna, yeah. You see, even though I'm not old enough to have seen Senna.
Oh my God! Okay, so you are young.
I'm young. In the Formula One world, I'm young. So no, I never watched it when Senna was around. Because when did he die? 96, 94, 96? I think it was 94. Wasn't it? So,
before I was born.
Yeah. So I was 14.
Okay. So you're not fan of Formula at 14?
Not 14. No. It was. My dad was never into it. He was into horse racing, which I wasn't bothered about at all. And I don't know if it was on the telly or not, because when things aren't on, I mean, obviously back in when you was 14, Sky or satellite TV was in its infancy, so it had not long started. But if it wasn't on the telly, you wouldn't see it, if you know what I mean. So we only had four or five channels back then. Oh, how the world has changed.
So what's the future looking like for you?
Me? Well, it's me, doing what I do.
You want to continue this until you die?
Not until I die. It's kind of weird because everyone says that, how would you retire? How would you stop? And it's like, well, this is what I used to do as a hobby before YouTube was a thing. So it's technically what I used to do in my spare time. So other than not film it, I'm still going to be probably messing around making stuff. But then but then there's always going to be that thing in the back of your head. Well, if I film this, I'll get paid. Do you know what I mean? We like money, don't we? He likes money. Wants to know about the money. So yeah, I think I'll probably just slow down or just get slow. I mean, I have got slower. My eyesight's deteriorated a little bit. I have to wear glasses now. I can't read rulers or tape measures without glasses. So certain things like that have got a little bit more trickier. But I don't really know. I mean, I've got all my underground stuff. It's not finished yet. You know, my garage is not finished. The tunnel down to the bunker's not done. So I can't even think about stopping yet.
So you will continue doing this stuff?
Yeah, definitely. What about you then? Come on, now. You got your podcasts. You got your European thing. How long are you a politician for? Do you have to get re-voted in again at some point?
I really love politics. I didn't expect it in the beginning. I started everything as a joke, but it's very interesting. The question is, if you think about engineering, it's about engineering a successful society.
Yeah.
How do you engineer a successful society with the economy, with the foreign policy of the countries, and like diplomacy, and how agreements, and like inside the country, and like energy and all this stuff is like a huge problem that you need to understand. There's so many parameters to understand. So it's like, for me, it's like, I'm very excited about it. Just started and I will stay for this.
Yeah.
Are you going to do politics in the future?
I don't know. It's kind of weird because like, I've not dabbled in politics, but when we tried to get because when I was a bit younger, we got a skate park built in town, and that all had to go through all the councils and stuff, and that's kind of like low-level politics, isn't it? Trying to get something built in your town, and it was so difficult to try and get something done that was obviously a positive. I think you've got to be there's a certain type of person that it takes to be a politician, and the only thing that worries me is, this is not a knock on you, as I think definitely with British politics, all the politicians have normally failed at something else, and they're kind of there, and I think that's wrong. You should have like really successful people should go into politics because they understand how companies work, they understand what the problems are, if you know what I mean.
So we'll see you, a member of the Parliament of UK.
Knows? So when do you get?
Oh my God! So this is news. He's going to run, ladies and gentlemen, in the UK.
Do as you're told. So when do you have to get like re-elected?
In 4 years, but
40?
4 years in 3.5 years.
Oh, so have you not long been elected then?
Only 1.5 years.
1.5 years. Sorry, I didn't know that, guys. But, I didn't. So I'm learning about this guy too. So with his face of many people.
So you don't say no to politics?
I don't say no to it, but I mean it's not on the radar at the minute.
But it seems that it's like, if you know the social media game, it's an easy transition to not an easy transition. There's a lot of learning.
I suppose where would my strength be? Is I understand what it's like to maybe do things for a large audience. Do you know what I mean? To do things
Your
like that.
strength would be education, bro.
So yeah, and stuff like that, and dealing with, with opinions and stuff and things like that. I don't know. So
comment below if you want him to be running.
Maybe, just like in Game of Thrones, like Jon Snow would have made a better king because he didn't want to be king, didn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe the best politicians are the people that don't want to be politicians.
Yes, drop the mic. I agree with this. So I'm not a good politician.
I don't know. I mean, it's kind of weird because you've become a politician because
accident.
Yeah, nearly by accident, which is kind of. I mean, it's quite funny, but it could be amazing because you could end up being the best politician they've ever had because you're an accidental one. So maybe. Yeah, you're the Jon Snow of politics.
That will be determined in the future.
Yeah, we'll see.
So how did you enjoy our time together?
Yes, good. So. Nice little talk. We've got a nice set in, haven't we? So it's yeah. Have you enjoyed it though? Have you got what you wanted? Because obviously,
I didn't go because you didn't say your money. So that was all I was here to get.
Leave you hanging, boy.
Now,
look, it's all good. It's all good, all right. So the kids have got some clothes on them, but I don't own loads of Lamborghinis. Do you know what I mean? So it's
it's between those two.
Yeah. So
okay. So I have one last question, but do you have anything else to say before I say my last question?
No, I think we've spoke about everything really. So
are you sure?
I don't know. What do you guys want to know? Stick it in the comments, and then I can't answer it because it'll have happened. But but if I go into the comments, I might be able to answer some of them. How many comments do you get on a video?
On the previous one, we had like 2,000.
Okay, it's quite difficult to answer all of them, but but we do our best.
How many comments do you get on a video?
I think the really popular videos tend to be like 9 or 10,000. The average, I think, is about five or six. I think the last one I did, which was on Thursday, I think that's on about 5.
And you see a lot of them?
When it's first uploaded, I normally sit there for the first hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, and you enjoy the time of people watching what you created and like commenting.
Yeah, it's quite interesting seeing some people's take on stuff and whatnot, and it's quite amusing as well seeing what people comment about.
And also the first comments and the kindness, the people that love you because they're excited to watch your videos. After when it gets pushed to millions of views, then the bad comments start to happen as well.
Kind of. It's kind of weird though, because I think sometimes some of the comments at the start are, if they are
First.
Yeah, the first. So, see, I remember when that started. That was a video that was put on that front page of YouTube back in bloody 2007 or whatever it was. Some of the earlier comments, if they appear to be negative, they're actually people being constructive criticism because they are your hardcore fans, and it's like they're more invested in it, and it's nearly like, why didn't you do it like this? This would.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I think you could do it like this. It could be so much better, sort of thing. You have to read it in a slightly different way because sometimes when you answer them, you're like going, I didn't think it was that bad. And then the response you would get is like, nah, I weren't knocking it. I just thought it was like this sort of thing. So often, sometimes if there is ones that look slightly negative, if you answer them back, it's like thinking, it always ends up being a positive. So, but then it kind of like, because like you say, you've got your core audience that they understand you. And this is the thing with social media, right? When you first ever start, you've got like the niche people that have like searched for you or come across you because they're into similar things. So they understand everything. They get why you're doing it, what you're trying to achieve, what you're trying to build. They totally get it. Then you grow a little bit and then it's sort of the net goes a little bit further, and then you kind of get the people that are sort of interested in that thing but haven't necessarily searched for you, but they kind of understand what you're doing. Then it grows again, and then it goes to more the people that kind of fit the demographic of the people that are watching it, but necessarily might be like, I think I know what this guy's up to, but I don't really understand it, but it's quite cool. And then that's all right. But then after that, that's when it starts to get in problematic, you see, because then the internet pushes out a little bit further, and then you get the people that, you might like what this guy does, but they might look at it and just go, this is a bit stupid. And then just leave it or whatever. Don't watch it.
So when it goes mega viral,
and
that's why it describes also what you said about Mr. Beast as well.
Yeah, his reach has gone so far and wide. I don't know if everybody watching it really knows what they're watching. They're just watching because it's Mr. Beast. It's like he's a victim of his own success, nearly, sort of thing. But he's doing well out of it. So something's working for him. So good on him.
So I gave you the chance to say whatever you want in the end, and you said a very interesting talk about how the comment section works.
There you go.
So
how boring am I? Let's talk about Formula One and Game of Thrones instead.
So the last question is, you are going to die in 30 seconds. If you're actually going to die in 30 seconds, what do you want your last words to be in this planet?
Like and subscribe. Well, I've got any phrases. Turn the internet up to 11. So.
That was the best one. I think we'll leave it there. I want your answer.
Failure is not an option. They are, something like that.
Okay.
So that used to be Rick, who was like my right-hand man. It's kind of semi-retired now. He had a sticker on his guitar that said failure is not an option. And that was a little bit of a thing I had in my head when I was doing some of the earlier projects and they weren't going right. It's like failure is not an option. You see this through to the end. So, because everybody asks like, is there many projects that didn't work?
It was 30 seconds, guys, but it's okay. You can go
it's
more.
Okay. We've gone on now. People would say like, is there any projects that didn't quite work or didn't make it? And I'm like, there's only one, which is this bacon cooking machine, which still actually I can make work. It didn't quite work the first time, and then I got dragged onto other stuff. But other than that, I will try and see every project through to the end.
Okay.
So, because failure is not an option. They are.
Okay, like and subscribe, guys.
Sweet.
Bye bye. Thank you for watching until the end. We love
Yeah.
you. Bye bye.
Cheers, people. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah.